Hello there, confident leader. Welcome to day 5 of the Speak Like a Leader experience. For day 5, we're going to cover executive presence, part 1. And today we're going to be talking about confidence and clarity, with our underlying theme being about commanding attention and how commanding attention starts from within. Now, let me ask you something. When you speak, do people stop what they're doing and do they listen? Or does it feel like you're being heard, but you're not really being seen? Here's what I want you to know about executive presence. Executive presence isn't about being the loudest in the room or even dominating the conversation. It isn't even about having all the attention on you in a particular moment. It's about showing up in a way that commands respect and it inspires trust. It's really about the energy that you're bringing to a room. It's what's going to make decision makers see you, and not only see you physically, but also see you and therefore think of you as someone that they want to be on their team, someone that they want to lead initiatives, someone that they want to promote, partner with, or sponsor. And here's the best part. Executive presence isn't something you're born with. It is not a personality trait. It's a skill. And because it's a skill, that means you can learn it too. And that's what I'm here for. At its core, executive presence comes down to 3 elements that we're going to discuss over the next couple of days. Those elements include clarity, confidence, and connection. Clarity is about owning your message, what you say, and how you say it. Confidence is about how you carry yourself. It's about showing up like you do belong. And connection is about how you engage with others, how you create trust, credibility, and how you influence. Today we're going to focus on clarity and confidence, the internal foundations for exuding executive presence. Let's start with clarity. When it comes to clarity, I want you to own your message, because no leader speaks without a purpose. Leaders know what they want to say, why it matters, and how to make people remember it. When you communicate, think of clarity as your foundation. Is it clear? And because we are so smart, I want you to think about, could I explain it to a 5th grader and would they understand? Clarity is about cutting through the fluff and delivering your message in 3 simple steps. You ready? Step 1, start with the main point. What do you need them to know? Step 2, back it up with proof. What's the evidence? Step 3, end with the next steps. What actions do you want them to take? People need to know what you want them to do with the information you're providing. So I want you to get to what it is you want us to know and what's the punchline of it. And then I want you to know, now that I know that, do you have what you need to back it up? But whether you do or not, I still want to know what you want me to do with this information. Are you just making me aware? Do you need a decision? Do you need me to pass it up the line back to my leadership? What do you want me to do with it? And a way that you can show up and speak with clarity would be, for example, instead of saying, I think the process we implemented last quarter is working really well. We've seen some improvements and people seem happy. That's cute. Instead, I want you to say, the process we implemented last quarter reduced errands by 25%. I am happy to recommend, and I want to encourage us to expand it to other teams in order for them to replicate the process and thereby replicating those results. See the difference? One is vague and forgettable. The other is precise and impactful, and my how comes across differently. That's the power of clarity. The power of clarity also with commanding attention. Clarity positions you as someone who's prepared, focused, and already thinking like a leader. Then let's talk about confidence, because I need y'all to show up like y'all belong in these rooms. If when you're in the room, you show up with clarity but not with confidence, your message won't land. Confidence isn't about being fearless. It's about showing up like you're ready, even when you are nervous. It's okay to be nervous. All nervousness is the fact that you're growing. And the more that you practice at a level, your nervousness will subside. But then when you get to the next level, you'll be nervous again because it's a bigger audience. It's maybe new people at higher levels. And that is okay. It's a part of the process. Here's a fact. People will believe you in as much as you believe yourself. Confidence is communicated in 3 ways. Number 1, your voice. Speak clearly and deliberately. No rushing. Let's try to reduce filler words as much as possible. In a corporate or work environment, let's try not to use the word If it's something you're currently doing, I want you to practice what you want to communicate beforehand so that you're able to say the words with clarity and therefore also with confidence. You also want to take pauses to let people digest the information, to also let them be able to take in your power, your energy, what you want them to know. 2, your body language. Sit up straight, stand tall, make eye contact, and use intentional movements. Keep your energy grounded. That leads me to number 3, your energy. Your energy matches the moment. High energy enthusiasm for brainstorming, yes. Calm composure for a big decision, absolutely. Adapt to the situation, but always stay in control of your energy. For me, confidence started with belonging. And I know that belonging has been a topic over the last couple years. And so that's why I want to address it here. Because how you think about belonging will also impact how you show up in the presence, the energy that you give. So again, for me, my confidence is grounded in the fact that I believe that I belong. I grew up in the DMV area. For those of you who don't know what the DMV means, it means the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And because I grew up in the DMV era and I'm an 80s baby, I grew up back when DC was Chocolate City. And DC, at least for me growing up, had Black professionals. It had a strong pro-Black culture. And so I never questioned whether I deserved to be in a room, even though for a lot of my years, the majority of them, I went to predominantly white schools in Northern Virginia. But even in AP classes, I did not question whether or not I belonged in the room. Because what? Because who? And it gave me this foundation where I believe I deserve to be in the room. Like, it's not even a conversation. My focus was always, how do I make sure, not even that they see me or what I bring to the table. I kind of give off, I belong here even when I'm not trying. But I believe that that energy, again, is grounded in my thought of I belong here. And not only do I belong here, I'm not even checking for what you think about it. And I know I'm smart. Because I come into the room with that energy, my energy is felt even if I say nothing in a meeting. And I know this to be true. I have seen it play out. Even when I'm trying not to talk, people will look to me for guidance, look to see what I think because my energy is felt. My presence is known. Now, listen, I know that that's not everyone's story. For many Black and brown women, especially those of you who may have grown up in the South or even the Midwest or even in other countries or cultures, belonging may not have been a given. Maybe you were one of the only ones in a room where you were constantly reminded that you were different or somehow told that you were different. Maybe you had to navigate spaces where your very presence was questioned. When you're in rooms where your existence is questioned, it further cements your need to be grounded in you, to be confident. Now is not the time to not be confident. Now is the time to double down on I know what I know and who I am and whose I am without a shadow of a doubt. Because those experiences plant seeds of doubt that show up in subtle ways, such as hesitating to speak up because you're afraid of being labeled too much. For playing small because you don't want to seem too aggressive. To even questioning whether you're really ready for the next level. Confidence isn't about ignoring those realities. It's about showing up anyway. It's about reminding yourself that I am not only here for a reason, I have not earned my place, but I belong. I've done my part. I've done my work to be here. Therefore, I belong here. So let's talk about belonging a little bit deeper and how we need to make sure that the words or the language that we're telling ourselves consciously or subconsciously is building us up with confidence instead of tearing us down and creating doubt. So if for Black and brown women, building confidence starts with addressing some of the foundations of belonging, then that means you got to recognize the root of your doubt. You need to be aware of how systemic inequalities or cultural dynamics have shaped your view of what's possible, because it's a thought, it's not a fact. It's a thought, which means you get to think something different. You get to believe something different. Goes back to a man is what he thinketh. If your thoughts are based in that doubt, that is what you are creating. You get to change it. It doesn't matter what they believe. It matters what you believe. So it's not about capability. It's about challenging the narrative that you've been fed and likely subconsciously believe. So once you're aware of it, we need to talk about how do you shift your mental framework? How do you affirm that you belong and are not only capable, but often more qualified than others in the room? We heard Obama talk about this over the election, where he sat down and said, we do all this work to get in the room, and you get in the room expecting this wonderful thing, and you realize, oh, this is what's in the room? Like, really? And he's right. For everyone who's been in the room, you're working so hard and overthinking so much, when at the end of the day, you are qualified, prepared to be in the room. The conversation is not more enlightening in the room. This is why I need you to shift from doing and learning passively to learning how to speak, to learning how to talk to people, to learning how to motivate people, to learning how to speak like a leader so that you can get the outcomes that you want, whether that's a promotion, more money to grow your business, opportunities, however that looks for you. Then when it comes to belonging, remember that representation and modeling does matter. Seeing women who look like you owning the room with confidence can make a world of a difference. Mentorship and community matter. This is, again, one of the reasons for CWL. In my case, I had family members who did not have college degrees, but they worked in the government. They took the civil service exam when they got out of high school, and they were able to reach great heights in the government without a degree. I grew up in DC where there was Black professionals around me, whether I was conscious of it or not. In elementary school, we had a significant number of Black teachers. So there's that. And then I want you to make sure that you're using all the tools that I've given you this week to reclaim and take up space. Strategies like the 3 C's that we're talking about here. I know we've only covered 2 today, clarity and confidence, but we'll get to the 3rd one tomorrow. They help you pair tools with also the work you need to do around shifting your belief so that you can show up and be seen, and not just seen as a doer, but seen as a leader. So here's the challenge for today. I want you to reflect on how you're showing up. Do you walk into rooms like you belong, or are you walking into rooms like you're playing small, like you're being small, like you don't want to be seen? And be honest with yourself. When you're in that room, when you speak, are you clear and deliberate? Have you thought through what you want to say? Or do you bury your message in unnecessary details because you're trying to process and speak and think at the same time? I really want you to sit with belonging, because I am a believer that any time that the media makes something mainstream like belonging, it is never in our best interest. I want you to remember that. Anytime people are on board for something, DEI is a classic example. When it's all said and done, it won't be in your best interest. And when you make belonging a media-based topic, a whitewash topic, something that's being censored, what it did for Black women, and I'll tell you, maybe even for brown women, was make you question if you belong, make you start to believe that you don't belong. And I'm not saying that the environments we've been in said we belonged, but a way that I can create doubt in you is to make that the centerpiece of discussion. And I get that systems were not created for us. No system in this country was created for us. So if we take that mindset, then what are we going to do? If our ancestors took that mindset for a country that we say we built, why wouldn't it be for us? Why wouldn't we take our rightful place? Why wouldn't we show up? All our beauty and all of our energy and all of what we know we were sent here to do. Why wouldn't you? Why don't you belong? Because they said so. Because there's a lot of them there. That does not mean you don't belong. It just means that they don't like it. Nonetheless, tomorrow we'll shift gears to the external side of executive presence. And we'll talk about connection and appearance. These elements will help you amplify how others perceive you and how you lead. Let's keep building from here. I'll talk to you tomorrow.